Who wins the NBA championship?
I at this point I have to say the Suns because Giannis is I guess is it confirmed that he's out or is he still?
He's questionable.
He's questionable still. So I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the Suns are going to have to figure out, exactly what the Bucks are going to do defensively, in that first game. And if you look back at the regular season games between these two, they were very close. First one was a 1-point game that finished in regular time, and the second one was an overtime game. So the first game, Giannis had like 47 points and 11 rebounds. He dominated the Suns, and the Suns still found a way to win. Second game, he didn't do as much, and the Suns won the game by 1 point. So either way, I think these games are going to be very, very close. But I think if Giannis does not play, and let's say that he misses... Let's just say he misses the first 2 games and the Suns are up 2-0. Then I think if you're the Bucks, you got to figure out what playing without Giannis looks like because he definitely provides them a lot of defense.
JL Banuelis.
Who the fuck are you?
Thanks for subscribing to the channel. He says the Jazz definitely need Conley back. Thank you. Also looking at the Giannis news. He is, again this morning, working out at a, quote, private gym to try and determine his ability to play tonight. That's 3 straight days he's worked out at a private gym.
What the hell does that even mean?
Why are you working? See, this is the stuff that I don't understand. Well, we can't have him work out in public because then people will see this leg fell off.
He, at this private gym workout, he was actually playing on one crutch as well, so we couldn't have people seeing that.
Now, granted, it was in his rectum, but it was a crutch. I saw it. The point is, I'm not buying that he's playing tonight. That hyperextension, if he didn't tear those ligaments, he had to have come close. He's got a severe knee strain at the very, very
gnarly.
best. And you can't tell me he's not going to have to wear a brace on that thing.
It's probably the issue. And this is what you're saying basically is that he definitely has a lot of swelling in it, and when you have swelling, your mobility goes down.
Yes,
so that's really going to hurt his athleticism, that explosiveness. That again the patented spin move that he always rolls out. That's going to not be available to him as much when he's got that kind of issue in his knee.
Stop it. Anyway, I'm not reading those comments. I'm not doing it. I like if Giannis doesn't play in this series, the Suns are going to win it. If Giannis plays, I think I would lean to the Bucks in a long one. I think this will be 6 or 7. I just think that the matchup when Giannis plays, I don't know how the Suns match up with him. I mean, Jay Crowder would be the obvious matchup, but Jay is always in so much foul trouble. I think if he's healthy, you're probably going to have to see Frank Kaminsky. Anytime that Frank Kaminsky comes on the floor, you're pretty much losing the game.
I actually think there's a chance that we see some DeAndre Ayton on Giannis.
How?
Because, dude, DeAndre Ayton is capable of staying with him. I'm not saying that he's going to make it so much that Giannis can't get to the basket. But what I am saying is that Ayton physically can stay with Giannis. Like strength-wise, Giannis won't be able to just run him over like he runs everybody else over. So, and because Giannis does not have a reliable jumper, I think that I could potentially see the Suns trying to roll that out.
Yeah, but I think Giannis's best ability is his ability to get guys in foul trouble. And yes, he scores 30 a game. Yeah, he dunks on dudes. Good defender. Blah 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 blah. He gets your bigs in trouble. And when you foul out Jay Crowder or you foul out DeAndre Ayton, and really the bigger issue is if you have Giannis being checked by DeAndre, he's not going to give you much offensively. DeAndre is. So I think he's a really important player for them offensively. Mm-hmm. And I think, by the way, the other question is, okay, if you have DeAndre checking Brook Lopez, I don't know. Is Brook Lopez able to get by Giannis or able to get by DeAndre? Excuse me.
No,
I don't know. I think that's an interesting matchup there.
I think that's pretty even. I think the question for the Lopez situation, or I'm sorry. The question for the Bropez situation
thank you.
is he knocking down the three? Because if he's able to pull DeAndre Ayton out of the paint, that obviously changes things, So at the end of the day, that's always going to be the question.
Yeah, and I think if you're being optimistic, I think Giannis misses the first couple of games here. He either plays in game 3 or game 4 at home. I don't know why you would risk it. I mean, you got to win your games at home.
Yeah.
And if you can rest him, even if you go down 0-2, we've seen this year that that's not a death knell.
Which is crazy. Like I was sitting here thinking, like, man, if this series goes 6 or 7, I mean, that just follows the suit of basically every other series outside of Jazz Memphis.
Yeah. So, by the way, there's quite a conversation in the DMs this morning.
Okay. Why?
With fading DM guy, this disappearing DM guy.
Vanish mode.
Thank you. Tyler. So Tyler's been gone for a while. And what he's been doing really is he's been DMing, and I haven't been reading his DMs. So,
and
should I read DM messages? And I think we should not.
Yeah,
if you
I don't
DM
think
me,
you
I'm
should.
not going to read them on the show.
Yeah, because it needs to be, court of public opinion.
Yeah, especially if you're being douche guy that sends me like vanishing messages.
Douche guy.
Get out of here.
Douche canoes.
Yeah, like if you're being a douche canoe and you send me a vanishing message thing, come on.
His standards don't matter.
Yeah, like get off of Snapface and get on to freaking YouTube. Let's go. And he YouTube comments a lot as well. Let's see. Jeremy Bolton says Bucks lose and that's Giannis's fault because he got injured. Yeah, what a dick. Eric and Raleigh says if Giannis even plays, just leave him alone at the 3-point line. Yeah, I think you back off of him, which we've seen. Jordan McDonald says Giannis will play in game 3. I would agree with that. James Knight says Grocock suffered serious swelling, kind of like Giannis in his knee.
If you felt these balls,
I mean, it'd be amazing. I think if Giannis doesn't play, I think the Suns win. Devin Booker, I think, is...
It's time. It is
the
time.
expectation, though, has to go up.
Yes.
I think he's performed really well. There is no Pat Bev on the Milwaukee Bucks, and you can't tell me that P.J. Tucker stands in front of Devin Booker effectively.
Holiday is the guy. Holiday's the guy that can stay with him.
Well, then my question is, who's going to guard Chris Paul?
So they'll figure it out. I don't know.
Well, you're going to have to get a high level of defense out of Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Because Chris Middleton's the guy that's going to have to check Devin Booker. Because, I mean, that's the obvious matchup to me. And I think Devin Booker has to give you more. Like, I'm not saying I've been disappointed with Devin because I think he's played really well in the playoffs. But there are times where in that Clippers series, and I think Patrick Beverley did a great job. But you have to find a way to get Pat Bev off of you, whether that's rub screens or pick and rolls or whatever. Your job is to score the ball. You are one of the best shooters in the NBA. You've got a deadly mid-range game. You got to get to that mid-range game, and I think at times Devin Booker didn't do that. And then when that series got tight, that's when we saw Devin Booker going to the basket. That's when we saw him playing tough physical basketball in the paint against the Clippers. And I think that you saw, especially in Game 7, Chris Paul was on a mission. So Devin Booker, I think, did the right thing and gave the ball up and moved the ball around. And that's why we saw his assist numbers go up. But Devin Booker, if the Suns are going to win this championship, has to truly, in my opinion, be the guy. Because I think Chris Paul's going to get his 20. Devin needs to have 30-point games on a pretty regular basis if they're going to beat the Bucks.
Agreed.
I think it's a huge deal.
I think for his legacy too. I think these are, being that he's 24, which by the way is insane. He's only 24, but being that he's 24 and he's going to the NBA Finals and he's playing for a championship. I mean, these are, when you look back and you're 35, 36, you're at the end of your career and you're kind of in that one last run kind of mode. You're looking back and you're like, man, I was 24. I was feeling great. We were in the finals. Oh, and I didn't quite come up with it. Or yes, I did. I delivered and I won that championship.
Well, think about LeBron.
Yeah.
Think about how many losses LeBron has.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can't give these away. I think Chris Paul is playing with absolute desperation.
It's different for him. Yeah, this is his last best chance.
I think it is. Block Rush says PJ Tucker going to lock Booker up. If Devin Booker gets locked up by PJ Tucker, they're gonna try. I'm telling you, I legitimately think that they will try
to put PJ on Book and see what happens. Obviously, they'll make adjustments if it doesn't work, but I think what everybody's saying is, hey, he did that to KD. Why can't he do it to Book?
Because KD's not a guy that's going to blow past you. I think Kevin Durant has to get past you with handles. Devin Booker is going by ones and twos with quickness, first steps. Then he handles you and pulls up for that mid-range. And he's working in a hezzy, if anybody's noticed, and getting to the basket. Devin Booker, PJ Tucker's not fast. He's not quick. He is physical and he moves well. Devin Booker would handle PJ Tucker, and we'll see. It's one of the things I'm really interested tonight to see how much one-on-one does Chris Middleton get with Devin Booker. I think that's going to be a real critical matchup in this series because Book's defense has gotten much better, and it's effort and want to, and he's really done a nice job on the ball. So it'll be interesting to see. Chris Middleton's absolutely the pivotal figure for the Bucks. A lot of people put it on Giannis. I'm telling you, if the Bucks win a championship, it'll be because of Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Giannis is out. The knee is next season. Suns in 6, but I'm rooting for the Bucks just to make it fun and to make Monty slap his forehead. Okay. Block Rush says PJ's too physical for Booker. Well, physical is when Booker starts winning. How did he get over on Pat Bev? Well, Pat Bev, they pick and rolled Pat Bev off of him. And Patrick Beverley got frustrated. And PJ Tucker, we were talking about this in the amazing pre-show meeting.
Behind the scenes.
Off the air.
At our private gym like Giannis.
Yeah, in our private pre-show meeting studio, away from the cameras. Does PJ Tucker play 30 minutes a game in this series? That's a tough thing. Now, the one thing I think will be interesting is when PJ Tucker's on the floor and Brook Lopez is not. I think PJ Tucker winds up on DeAndre Ayton. I can see that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think the Suns play quick, and I think that's going to give PJ Tucker some issues.
Yeah.
And I think that the Bucks have a quick package where it does not include Brook Lopez, or excuse me, Bropez. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, the other interesting thing is if Brook Lopez doesn't, have to play on the perimeter, if let's say Giannis doesn't play, Brook's on the block, and he was incredibly effective, but Atlanta does not have a presence in the paint.
Yeah.
Clint Capella cannot defend a guy like Bropez. I think DeAndre Ayton can handle Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be mitigated a little bit, but what that also tells you is Chris Middleton's going to have 40 if Giannis doesn't play.
Yeah, and he's capable of doing that. We've seen
absolutely.
that multiple times. So it's not. I think that Middleton is more than happy to do that. It's just a matter of, again, it really just is a matter of, can the Drew Holidays of the world give you 20? Can he perform at a high enough level to offset what the Suns are doing? Because I think Paul's going to have 20 to 25 a night with 10 assists or more. That's where he's pretty much been every game that he's played. And I'd love to see Booker not get involved in the garbage in this series, and all that off the ball stuff, stay out of foul trouble. And I would love to see him kind of take that next sort of step from a dominance perspective. I'd like to see him consistently and reliably be around that 30-point number. I feel like sometimes, he just sometimes has these off shooting nights. And I do think the other thing, too, that we have to talk about is the fact that he played with that broken nose. I really do think that affected him a lot. And so I would think that with all this rest he's getting, that is hopefully in a better spot.
By the way, this is totally off topic. I'm going to take Suns in 6, by the way. Did anybody notice Talon Horton-Tucker? The Chris Brickley videos of Talon Horton-Tucker working with J. Cole. We're seeing a lot more of those videos now. And Horton-Tucker's a guy that's been working with Lethal Shooter. And granted, he didn't have a great shooting year, but he's really working hard. I think he knows that he could get paid.
Yeah, well, I think he knows that he's right now today. He's a name that everyone's talking about, and I think he understands that he's going to come to an opportunity where he's going to get more consistent minutes, and he's got to come through in those minutes so that he can be paid. You know, And that's why some guys make it and some guys don't. I mean, the guys that want to work really hard like him are probably going to make it.